No, they were all recorded at the same time for the Scream and Fire session. But what was going on in my voice at the time, in my head, my confidence was like rock bottom. I just didn't feel I had the ability to sing the song like I knew I could hear it in my head, so they didn't make it. But during this last summer when we were doing the festival run, I had a couple of days in Denmark and just felt up for it, so we flew in Jeff and James, the guys we work with, back home, and then just kind of sung the tracks, and they came out amazing, which is such a shitty, you know, because the four new tracks that are kind of on the reissue, they should have been on there from day one, you know, and they're blatantly great songs, 4 of the best that are on there, and it just sucks, but, you know, they're on there now, and as long as fans get to hear it and they like it, that's kind of the main thing, I guess.
But they'll be one of those kind of fan favourites, you know what I mean, that become like the classic tunes despite being a B-side or whatever.
Yeah. That's kind of what the feeling I'm getting is, you know, they'll never be buzzed on like, you know, the album was initially, because the album's been out like way over a year now, but you know, it's a shame, because I think, you know, the album would have been so much stronger from the start if these tracks were on there, but, you know, lesson learned, I guess, but...
So I was going to say, so what was it, just that the sort of, they didn't sit in the sort of the album as a whole at that point, or...?
No, not really. I mean, musically they sat perfectly, you know, it's just... I'd written quite demanding vocal lines for them, and I could barely fucking talk, let alone sing, you know, that's... If you put Scream and Fire on next to the Poison, you know, it doesn't take a genius to know there's something going on vocally, you know, so... And just captured a moment of time in my life, even though it's negative, you know, I got to kind of look at it in a way that, you know, well, it captured a moment in our career, and I don't know, even if it, you know, I just knew I could have sung that album so much better if I wasn't going through what I was going through, you know, but you know, too late now.
Well, also, so tell us about your voice at the Mo. How is she?
Great, you know, she's very, very, very stable, very strong, loads of tone. I'm hitting notes I never used to be able to hit. I just disciplined myself with my vocal routine and just really, really worked my ass off trying to get it back, you know. And it's back stronger than ever. So yeah, you know, album 3 vocally is going to be. I'm going to write really demanding vocal lines. I've got to work. It's going to be a vocal album for me, you know. So I just can't wait to get in the studio and sing it. Really.
Okay, man, cool.
Coming out.
Also, remember last time that you were saying that with the songs, obviously these 4 songs that are on this bonus disc, were there any other, again, sort of segments of tunes or bits and pieces that we're going to hear sort of coming out on the new stuff, on the new album?
No, I think musically, you know, that stuff is kind of old now anyways. So it's a weird, we just don't know what kind of direction to go in on this new one. You know, there's a lot of amazing like stuff musically coming out, and as I said, I'm writing at the same time melodies. But it's hard to kind of not be Bullet, you know what I mean? It's like we want to do something a little bit different this time, but we don't want to lose our identity and our fan base and all this shit. And it's weird. I don't know.
It's a tough one, man.
Kind of at a weird stage in our career, you know. It's like it's difficult.
I was going to say, well, because obviously the album Screaming Fire was really divisive. You know, on the one hand, you had everyone sort of saying it wasn't as heavy as the Poison. On the other hand, you had people who would otherwise never have discovered and got into Bullet getting into it because of the way that it was. What have you kind of taken away from the responses to Scream Aim Fire?
Basically, no matter what you do, you cannot please everyone, you know? No matter how many albums you do, how many albums you write, people will never make it so fucking stupid. I think, you know, one of the advantages of being in our band is people find it so hard to fucking put us in a category or pigeonhole us. And I love that, you know. That means people just, it fucks with their head, and I just like that, you know. So, I don't know, maybe we'll do some kind of psychedelic funk soul album this time. And
jazzcore.
Really spin people out, yeah.
But is that kind of, it must be exciting. I personally would find that one of the most exciting things is like, right, so how are we going to shape this album? Like, you know, the delivery, like raw music can be sort of delivered in so many different ways, and those choices that you guys are probably making now, like is it going to be sort of heavy and this, or, you know, add string arrangements and, you know, as you talk about, it's going to be a very vocal album for you. Is all of that kind of buzzing around in your head at the moment? Yeah, totally, you know, that's kind of, it's a good thing and it's a difficult thing at the same time, but, you know, we've always kind of done what we've done, it's always been our rules, you know, so whatever we decide to do at the end of the day is going to go down, you know. It's, from the stuff I've got so far, it's very, very big, epic kind of
hard rock / metal music, you know. I mean, we definitely have the metal element still in there. I think we always will. But, you know, Bullet is about songwriting more than anything else. You know, that's our priority. And some of the shit that's coming out right now is pretty sick, you know. I'm very, very excited about it. So.
I was going to say, in terms of that direction, when you say big and epic, is how's that going to sort of manifest itself?
Just, you know, we just want to try and write the biggest songs we can. You know, even though that's kind of what we're trying to do every album. You know, that got a little bit lost in Screaming and Fire because, like I said, people were saying it wasn't as heavy as the Poison. Some people were saying it was way heavier than the Poison. You know, to me, it was a way heavier album. You know, it was way more direct in your face, a lot more raw.
I guess it's one of those things that you sort of being inside it, you can't see the wood for the trees almost. Because, you know, you're inside every song, you're inside every layer of every bridge of every, you know, all of that. It's hard to sort of step away and hear the song objectively when it's being made. Yeah,
it's true, you know, it's like they're your babies, you know, you sweat over these things, sometimes for months, and try and make them as best as possible so you love them first, but so other people love them too, you know, and when people don't, you know, it kind of hurts, you know.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's just a person's opinion, and it's totally their right, you know. You know, when you slave over something as hard as we did with Screaming and Fire and everything I went through personally, for someone to shoot it down with just a couple of words, you know, it's just like, fuck you. You know, you can't say that, you know. It is super hard, you know, especially when it's shot down in such a way where it's not needed, you know. It's like, just people can be cruel, you know, and that's kind of what some people are about or whatever, but, you know, I knew people were going to shoot it down, I knew people were going to brag it up, it's just the way it is.
I'd say, especially when you're a band of that size, you know what I mean, and another thing as well, I have this whole thing about sort of British hard rock and metal at the moment, is that in the early stages, the British media and the industry and the kids are right there. They're like, yeah, brilliant, this new obscure band from here and here. And then you reach a certain stage, and unless you've made that leap right over to having a massive fan base, the media are like, oh, they're big now, they sold out. Bye. And as if it's somehow not exotic anymore, and that's all it was in the first place. And you guys have totally made that leap, but because of it, it's always those slings and arrows, and everyone's slinging mud.
Yeah, it's kind of a fucked up situation, you know. It's like, it's uncool to be cool. It's like you have to be part of the scene to be cool. You can't sell records anymore unless you want to have this kind of, I don't know, cool kind of underground kind of aura. I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just fucked up, man. Like, people just find it hard to accept that a band has had success, you know. It's stupid. It's completely ridiculous, you know. It's like any band or musician that gets into the business and gets signed and doesn't want to make it and sell albums and tour the world and like play arenas and stuff, it's like, well, what the fuck? Why are you doing this in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
You know, just people can't understand, you know, just how much me and the boys have worked for it and how much we wanted it just from day one, you know, and what we did and what we've achieved so far today is absolutely incredible, you know. And if people still can't respect us for that, then it's like, then they're fucking idiots. So.
The end.